In this video, I want to explain clearly why some Africans would either hate or love Bonginkosi Khumalo. There's something special happening right now in politics, ladies and gentlemen, and that is why you don't want to miss this video.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Black Heart, the Hustle Continua. 100% good quality t-shirts, made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.
We are officially proclaiming the presidential candidate of MK, the only man we are voting for in the MK in these coming elections. Officially, for the first time to the public, we are unveiling it. It is Jacob Khanyile Zuma. I must repeat this so that it can sink to everyone. The official presidential candidate of MK. We have resolved, and with this position, we are not engageable. We are not open for any engagements. Don't call us in hotels at night. Don't call us in clubs at night. Don't buy us nice things and try to woo us for any engagements. We are unavailable. The minute you start to open your mouth and say, let's talk on who is going to be a presidential candidate of MK, and you don't mention the name of President Jacob Khanyile Zuma, we drop a call. We immediately drop you, we block you. President Zuma is the official face of MK. You will see him all over the country. Is a position we're not willing to engage on.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I am your host, King053, Mr. Easy, Imali, Enengi, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around us, Sashisa. Ziyakhala manje. Akusana sikhathi sokudlala manje. I mean, manje serious manje. We are entering a phase and a stage where the true politicians will stand out, the true Pan-Africanists will stand out, and the true people who are fighting for the liberation of our people will stand out. What do I mean by saying that? Okay, first of all, Bonginkosi Khumalo and his team, the interim Youth League structure of Umkhonto weSizwe, had a press briefing. Again, they invited some members of the media to come and announce officially that they are backing Jacob Zuma as the presidential candidate for Umkhonto weSizwe. They say President Jacob Zuma is going to be on the ballot, whether you like it or not, and President Jacob Zuma is the presidential candidate for Umkhonto weSizwe. Remember, the ballot and what is on the ballot is not really that serious. You can put a dead person on a ballot, the picture of a dead person. That does not actually say much. With the IFP, I'm sure they will have Buthelezi on there. Buthelezi is no more. But as a brand recognition, they will put him there so that the people can easily relate to that picture. Umkhonto weSizwe is saying they are not playing around when it comes to Jacob Zuma. They want Jacob Zuma as the president of the two-thirds majority party that is going to win the elections of 2024. It is getting to a place now where when you are fighting for what you believe, you have to subtly, I don't want to say throw threats, but send warnings to the government of South Africa. Because we as Africans, we are tired of how this government has been treating us. And it takes a brave man knowing that prison awaits him should he release a statement like he's going to release, like he released. It takes only a brave African man to stand up like Bonginkosi and say the things that most of you are afraid to say. Why should it be that Umkhonto weSizwe must be victimized like this in front of us in a place, in a country that we call the most democratic country in Africa? Why is it that you have to get to a point where you are even making threats and warnings to the government to say, please don't stop us from deriving us from the right of choosing our freedom of association? Why? Bonginkosi said with powerful words that if they couldn't stop the July unrest, they will not stop Umkhonto weSizwe Youth League. Listen, just listen to how he phrased it.
You fail an unrest, the July unrest. You think you can stop MK? You even go on the social media, on the media, you saw wow, my iPad addressing. Still goes there. We are ready as the country. We can never allow to unrest. There's some unrest people who are perpetuating. We are going to stop them. I can tell you, Cyril has no capacity. He has no capacity of stopping MK Youth League. He has no capacity. Leave MK Mother Body, us as the Youth League. He has no capacity. In 9 provinces, marshalling our force towards freedom. On the 20, he has no capacity. I want him to deploy even the soldiers that are still training. Unleash all police officers. We meet toe to toe. For these Democrats will defend it. We want to vote. Put our X. That's all. And we'll do it. Further to that, there won't be declared elections. You'll call me a prophet. You'll come again as media. These elections are free and fair. Voting stations, this, voting station, this. These police were not aware. Then you write another, then you call for another commission of an inquiry. We want to see who's an instigate. Then you arrest Bonginkosi Khanyile as usual. You put him there. You deny me bail. And maybe you take 4 or 5 of our comrades. You brand us as instigators. It's okay. It's okay. 5 years we come out, but Zuma is going to win the ballot.
Now, this statement that Bonginkosi has made, he has now put himself in a category where he's going to be hated by black people, he's going to be hated by white people, and he's going to be celebrated by patriots of African movements. He's going to be celebrated by people like myself. People who understand that black people will never achieve anything in this world unless they fight for it. The problem is when the things that you want in your life, you don't want to fight for them. You want to start a business, but you don't want to fight for that business. You want to start for a relationship, but you don't want to fight for that relationship. You are in a marriage, the marriage is breaking down, you don't want to fight for that marriage. You are in a friendship, you don't want to fight for that. There is nothing that you do that puts you out of your comfort zone. It takes true men, like Bonginkosi to come out and say, listen, you are not going to stop us. We are willing to lay down our lives and die. Guys, ankhatheli yini ANC? Are you not tired yini ANC? Nyabuza. Are you not tired of these 30 years the ANC has fagigi? Minus the 9 fruitful years. Ankhathali yini? So if we don't fight, if nobody's rising up and say, we are going to take our democracy by fire, by force, who is going to stand up? Who is going to stand up? The young man is saying, you can even send these soldiers that you are deploying that are training. Because remember, the soldiers is an employment program. It's no longer a military call. The people who are in the army today, you find and interview them. 80% of them never grew up wanting to be in the army or in the police force. They are there because they are seeking for employment. Right or wrong? Go in the comment section. Go to any guy who's an army guy and ask them, when you grew up, what did you want to be? They won't say an army a soldier or a navy personnel or a police officer. They won't say that. They want it to be other things. It's just how the country turned. It forced them into the army. I know. I filled many army forms for young boys and girls here in the Northern Cape. I know. Now, the problem with what Bonginkosi said is that 2 weeks ago, Cyril Ramaphosa has warned against this type of words. Say any person who is trying to create some type of anarchy will be allocated and will be arrested. That is why I'm saying Bonginkosi is a brave soldier. Because on the back of what Cyril Ramaphosa said, he still uttered these words, that you will not remove Umkhonto weSizwe on the ballot paper. Ziyakhala. You listen to what Cyril said.
Well, we've been hearing that, and I just want to make it very clear to anyone who is threatening any form of unrest, they will be followed up and they will be arrested. Those are people who belong in jail. Those are people who are the enemies of our democracy. The people of South Africa value this hard-won democracy, and they don't want any form of instability. And we've always followed the rule of law. When you are dissatisfied with any decision, be it a government decision, the president's decision, a minister's decision, even a court's decision, there are ways in which all those complaints can be followed up. So for anyone to say that if this does not happen, they are going to have instability, it's against the will of the people of South Africa. And I can promise you, those people will be followed up, we will arrest them. And they do not belong as part of the South African community that wants stability. That is going to happen.
There you hear it from our president, Cyril Ramaphosa. Our president is Jacob Zuma, by the way. Our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, saying, listen, anyone that is trying to they need to paint it in a way to say, you are going to create unrest. You're going to create anarchy. That is why we must arrest you. That is why you are threatening democracy. So the democracy we have worked so hard, we don't want anyone to play around. We're going to identify those individuals and we're going to arrest them. Failing to say, why don't we allow these people to be on the ballot if they are not on the I want to say, on the ballot paper? If you are not threatened by Jacob Zuma, why is it that you are scared of this man to be on the ballot paper? Why are you scared of this small Umkhonto weSizwe? What is threatening you about this little Umkhonto weSizwe? They know, the ANC knows very well that the Umkhonto weSizwe is their coffin. They know. And what are they going to do? The Cyril Ramaphosa faction does what it does best, and that is use the court system. They're going to use the court system. They try to use the IEC. The IEC put his head up and say, I assist again, go to the courts. Because according to us, Umkhonto weSizwe has done nothing wrong. Because remember, when you register a party and a name and everything. The IEC takes that name and distributes it and asks people, do you have any problem with this trademark, this name and everything? And then nobody came back to the IEC and told them they've got a problem with Umkhonto weSizwe. It's only after Jacob Zuma endorsed Umkhonto weSizwe, the 16th of December, then the ANC started having problems. In fact, they had problems in January. The whole of December, they were quiet, watching the movement grow. So now they're going to use the court system to try and and neutralize the power of Mkhonto Wesizwe, of which we South Africans don't want that. You ask any South African, do you want Mkhonto Wesizwe to be taken off the ballot? There is no South African with a full mind that is going to say yes. Leave Mkhonto Wesizwe there. Let the people who love Mkhonto Wesizwe vote for Mkhonto Wesizwe. That is why Bonginkosi Khanyile is saying we don't trust the courts, especially these courts that are led by Raymond Zondo.
And appeal. So we are clear. We don't have confidence in the courts of South Africa under the leadership of Zondo. The first person that we want to do, the first person, because you have good judges, you have good investigation officers, but you have Zondo as a head. When the head is rotten, the whole board is difficult to survive. Zondo, the first thing when MK takes power, we are chopping Zondo's head. Zondo is a liability. Because he's a friend of Cyril. He was supposed to call Cyril and say, Chief, this thing is not possible legally. But I know where they meet, supervised by their white friends, they are trying everything in the book. What can you use to disqualify Zuma here? Including create a public confusion between being sworn in and being on the ballot, which are two different processes. I, Bonginkosi Khanyile, I solemnly declare that I will abide by the South African Constitution, that I shall. You are saying that's being. Then there's a confusion, which is non-existent. Then you threaten us with soldiers. Can't be. So, MK government, the youth league is clear. Zondo must go. Zondo must go. It's a problem. Is a problem. Even a court, the credibility. You know, separation of powers was done specifically for such confusion. Don't bring politics into law and into the executive. Because in the ancient times of Rome, in the ancient times of Shaka Zulu, you had the council of Shaka, they were judiciary, they were the kingdom, they were parliament of some sort. Even in Rome, churches by then, they were judiciary, literally, a church leadership in the Roman Empire.
It takes, ladies and gentlemen, it takes a brave man to say the things that Bonginkosi Khanyile is saying. It takes brave men. It takes a true Pan-Africanist that will say, until when are we going to talk English? Until when are we going to use different currencies in Africa? Until when are we going to continue with these colonizations, colonized borders that were given and forced to us by blood? Until when are we going to tolerate Africans in model C schools? Until when are we going to tolerate private-owned banks continuing to manipulate our currency? Until when is the Reserve Bank going to be left to do as it please? Until when? Somebody has to ask these questions. Somebody has to ask these questions. And it takes a brave soldier, knowing that even my YouTube channel can be closed, attacking the Reserve Bank, attacking people like Pravin, trying to establish African unity. Bonginkosi is fighting for you and I. The freedom of association is there in our constitution. Why is it that they are trying to stop Mkhonto Wesizwe? And I said it long time ago. I said it in January when there was that case of the EL Economic Liberators Forum and the EFF, Economic Liberate Forum and the EFF, where the logos was the same. And I said with Mkhonto Wesizwe, tweak the name of Mkhonto Wesizwe. You don't need to go to court and give ANC the upper hand. The ANC will not lose a court case against Mkhonto Wesizwe. It will make the ANC look weak if they lose that case. The ELF has changed their logo. They said, no, let us just change our logo. There's no need for all of this drama. We'll continue to fight in court to say our logos did not really look the same. But they changed the logo for the sake of continuity. I said umkhonto wesizwe can be umkhonto wethu, can be umkhonto wesizwe sethu, can be umkhonto wabantu, umkhonto. They can change that name because that name is not really important. The important thing is Jacob Zuma. People are following Jacob Zuma because people love Jacob Zuma. Because it's only now that South Africans are waking up to say, no matter who Jacob Zuma actually was a good president. When they are looking at their salary and how far it can stretch in a month, they see with that man. When Jacob Zuma was around, it was better, man. It is Jacob Zuma that fired Pravin Gordhan. It is Jacob Zuma that brought in Brian Molefe. It is Cyril Ramaphosa it's Jacob Zuma that fired Blade Mzimbabwe from higher education. And then Cyril Ramaphosa brought back those people. Brought back Blade, brought back Pravin, put him into Minister of Enterprise, Public Enterprise. And then we started seeing the fall of SAA. It was sold. We started seeing Transnet, Danel suffering. We started seeing Eskom suffering. We started seeing Transnet. You started seeing our country going down. But today they can approach us with a smile. The problem is you Africans, you don't want to fight for anything. There's nothing that you want to fight for. Some of you actually don't mind if the ANC wins again. You don't mind. It's okay. Because like I said, there's some slaves that are better off than other slaves. Bonginkosi explained it properly. There are slaves that live in the master's house. They've got a room in the master's house. And there are slaves that live in the fields. Their living conditions are different from those ones who live. So some of you, you've got the money, you've got the nice cars, you've got a nice watch, you've got the nice jobs, you've got a beautiful wife, you've got the nice houses, you've got a nice, you live in an urban area, a nice suburb, and all of that. So you have forgotten the fabric of the struggle of black people. I'm so happy that young men like Bonginkosi Khumalo are rising up. Because I said there's no revolution that is going to happen without the youth rising up. Every political party needs a strong youth structure. And I dropped the video of Bonginkosi getting interviewed by UDJ Spoo. And I ask you guys, do you want to see part 2? And most of you said, King, Shai part 2. In fact, in the history of my channel, it is Bonginkosi is the first person to get so many requests for part 2. People are saying, Shai part 2, please. Give us part 2, part 2. Why? Africans, they know the truth. When they hear it, they can relate to it. It's only you. It's only you who is a better slave because where you stay, you are in the master's house. People are saying part 2. So Shai part 2, not today, tomorrow. So Shai part 2 for you guys. You'll get part 2 Friday morning. 7 o'clock in the morning, you guys will get part 2 because you asked for it. I cannot play around with the request of my people on YouTube. But anyway, I wanted to say, as Africans, we need to wake up. As Africans, we need to stand up and fight for what we want. If really indeed you Africans are saying you are tired of the situation that you find yourself in, vote differently. That's all. That's all. And even if we lose the election, let the whatever ruling party know that the African people in South Africa are not happy with our standards of living. We are not happy. with the households that they are giving us. We are not happy with the quality of water they are giving us. We are not happy with the roads. We are not happy with anything that is happening. The quality of basic education. Our children are getting basic education, Nkosi yami. Yo, Africans, when are you going to wake up? Nivuka nini? Yo, Africans. Okay, tomorrow is Thursday, 9 o'clock. We meet. Well, not tomorrow, today. You guys are getting the video tomorrow. 9 o'clock, we are meeting to discuss Pan-Africanism and everything that has to do with our school Baseta and just, to recharge ourselves. That's the only time you guys get to engage with me on the live stream. So I encourage you to set your watch for 9 o'clock tomorrow. We are meeting, and then we will be talking for at least 1 hour, 30 minutes. And I promise you will be gaining a lot from the engagements that we have on our live streams. So please make sure that you're tuned in tomorrow. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the bell icon so that you are notified every time when we post a video. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. But after you pray, African child, stand up and do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.